Since it is so common, shouldn't it then, should it still be a stigma or be perceived as something shameful in society? Or maybe, as you posed your question, and as many others believe, it should be more tolerated. It should not be viewed as something that is bad or evil or wrong. Well, what are the things that we have to understand about premarital sex? Firstly, premarital sex is engaging in sexual acts without the sanction of holy matrimony.
So, we have to understand that sex is the privilege that God granted to a married people only. It's not a right which every individual has. So it is prerogative that was given by God. Let's go back to the first couple, Adam and Eve, and let's take a look at what is the instruction that God gave to the couple on the first man and woman. In Genesis 1 verse 27 and 28, so God created a man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. We should note here that God blessed the first man and woman he created before he instructed to go be fruitful and multiply. First came the blessing. Sex then is something that is rightfully reserved for a couples bound by the blessing of God, holy matrimony or marriage.
Adultery and fornication, then, are two forms of sexual misconduct which are both reprehensible and detestable before God. Adultery refers to voluntary sexual intercourse by a married person with anyone other than that one's own spouse. And those who commit adultery will surely be judged by God.
In fact, we can read that in Hebrews 13 verse 4. Marriage is to be honored by all, and husbands and wives must be faithful to each other. God will judge those who are immoral and those who committed adultery. Fornication, on the other hand, is sexual relation by mutual agreement between two unmarried persons. Nevertheless, all adultery and fornication is forbidden by God. So then, apostles teach to us about premarital sex. What are the specific instructions? Apostle Paul, example, gives important advice to all young people regarding this an issue. And let's take a look at what he had to say about sexual immorality and fleeing from it, the temptations. In 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18 and 19, flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a man commits are outside his body, but he who sins sexually sins against his own body. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, who you have received from God? You are not your own. The body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. The body is meant for the Lord and not for sexual immorality. in 1 Corinthians 6 verse 13, the body is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. So it is clearly that God's guidance to young people. God bless.